Well, hello. You say I am just shaping some handles. Let's see if you can. There, that's better. There. Let me see what I'm doing better. Shaping some handles. Thought I would go on here and, you know, maybe answer a few questions. Don't know if people have questions. Never asked. Well, hello. I feel like a whole bunch of people just jumped in here all of a sudden. Wow. Cool. Dropped y'all. Let me take this out. I am working on a little carving knife. I've never made one of these before. I got some family that does wood carving, and they wanted a little carving knife, so this is what I'm actually making. But I'm trying to roughen the handles a little bit. It's still pretty thick up here. I'll probably taper this in a little bit. And then, I don't know, what do y'all think? Looks cool. I still have to grind the blade. It says it's been rough ground and heat treated, but it's really short, so I wanted to have a little bit of a handle to hold on to it with. Been doing a lot of kitchen knives lately. I guess big chef's knife I finished up last week. I've got a little paring knife for that. I got a whole bunch more kitchen knives. I got a whole set of these. But then I want to get back to doing some EDC stuff. Like this is like a little prototype I'm working on. It's kind of a compound grind in that one. Am I selling knives? Yes, I'm selling the knives. They are handmade. Everything that I have is available, is up on the website, flowerknives.com. Thank you. English or Spanish? I don't know what that means. How did I get into knife making? I got into knife making because I used to do construction with my dad growing up when I was a teenager. So I always had a pocket knife, just working. And I wrecked my bike one day, and I didn't realize it, but when I got back to the house, I didn't have a pocket knife anymore. So I felt kind of awkward trying to do my job every day, whether it was just sharpening a pencil or busting open straps or just marking things, just whatever. I didn't have a knife anymore. So I went to the store to get a knife, and I really just couldn't find something that I really just liked the way it was. So I'd already done a bunch of woodworking just because I worked with Dad. I had access to a bunch of woodworking tools. So I happened to be in a wood store one day, and they had some just like knife blanks. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I made handles for it, and they were okay. They were really garbage, but they were okay. And I wanted to do better, so I decided I was going to make the whole thing, and that kind of spiraled into a giant rabbit hole to where I am today. So I've been doing this since 2006. How do you bring a pocket knife on a plane and not get it removed? I don't know. Put it on your your stowaway. I don't know what I did with that piece of sandpaper. Anyways. So yeah. Is my name Andrew? No, my name's not Andrew. Am I an inventor? Yeah, it's been a long time. Any tips for knife making? I want to get into. Whereabouts are you in the country? Because there's a lot of places you could probably get help from depending on where you are. So I live in South Carolina, so there's some guilds you could talk to. If you can get in contact with an actual experienced maker, that would be the best thing. Or take classes. If you can find somebody that does classes, or there are classes around you, that would be the best way to learn a bunch of information quickly. I don't want to say in the right way, but in a way that works for that particular person or group. Like say in South Carolina, we have the South Carolina Custom Knife Makers Guild. There's a lot of people that teach classes all throughout the country. Stories? I don't know, man. I mean, I could probably tell some stories, but met a lot of interesting people. One guy who I learned from, I don't know if you guys know him, his name's Jason Knight. He used to live down in Harleyville. Now he lives up in Tennessee. He was the first actual knife maker I learned from, and he is a very interesting individual, and he tells quite the stories. Whether they're true or not is debatable sometimes, but yeah, he's a super interesting guy. He teaches classes. Um, so it didn't work. What didn't work? Just didn't work that time. I've made a lot of knives that didn't work. I mean, uh, I got plenty of them just sitting on my bench over here. Oh yeah, this one right here. Yeah, that's one of ours. I like the profile, but yeah, I tried this like hollow grind, and yeah, it didn't work. Didn't work that time, but you know, I learned what not to do. Definitely learned what not to do. Made this one. Now it just sits in the shop. I liked a lot of things about it, but it didn't really work either. But I learned what not to do, and then you know I'm doing these grinds like this now. From what I learned, this is a hollow grind here. This is a hollow grind here, and then this is a flat grind. So this is like a spear. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it wouldn't get sharp. Okay, do you know what kind of steel it was? Was it hardenable steel? That would be the first question. The hardest thing, especially learning to do that, is probably the heat treating. Is because if you don't know what it is, you don't know how to heat treat it. There are places that can heat treat it for you, but like I say, good steel's not that expensive. You could get like some 1080, 1084, something like that, and as long as you can get it hot enough.